Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspaces. And this headspace is called, well, that backfired, didn't it, Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney? Were you the source of the number 10 briefings against West Streeting? Let's discuss. So before I jump into, well, that backfired, didn't it, Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney? Were you the reasons behind the leaks from number 10? Can I first say thank you so much for joining and jumping on the show. Thank you for your likes, shares and comments. Please do click the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 3,000. I'm at 2,176. I'm aiming to get to 2,200, hopefully by the end of the year. With your help, of course. Make a donation at denisehedley.com. I'm very partial to 3 Wings and Chips and a Miranda, as well as a piece of Bitcoin. Yes, please. Hubba, 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 hubba. So this headspace is an interesting one for me. So this week, in fact, actually it wasn't this week, it was on Wednesday, there were several stories doing the rounds that Keir Starmer will be fighting off a challenge from anybody who decides to step up and challenge the leader. West Streeting, who was the, what can I say? He is the boy wonder in waiting, one of a potential number of contenders who want to wear the crown. But as Mummy always says, that person, he who wields the knife, never wears the crown. So that's why you always have to distance yourself. Anyone remember Heseltine? Yeah, he done Margaret Thatcher in. The party never forgave him, but he was probably going to be a better leader than some of the ones that they brought in subsequent to her. But that's going back. But the point is this. There was a briefing that somebody was standing against Keir Starmer. West Streeting was doing the rounds because he was making a number of announcements about issues in relation to health, new hospitals, beds, or something he was saying, which is, most people are not even paying attention to, because we know that his job is to privatize even further the NHS and bring his American friends and buddies, which are friends of Mr. Mandelson, into the marketplace along with the Tony Blair Institute. Yes, that's what's going on, people. Anyway, so he was then confronted with the question, are you briefing against the Prime Minister? And he made a very robust defense saying, look, I can speak on behalf of the Keir Starmer and tell you straight away, we abhor briefings. Nobody is making moves towards the Prime Minister being ousted, and anyone who says that should be sacked. Now, what I found really interesting about this whole conversation was this. Morgan McSweeney is already being investigated because he took funds basically from the Zionist communities to set up a think tank and put that think tank forward as a bridging organization between the left and right of the party, when in fact they were just, they were harvesting data, they were using and galvanizing people's attention so that they could vote for Keir. And basically what they did is they used the think tank to get Keir in, to get him elected as leader, but they didn't declare what they were doing. So the usual kind of skullduggery and stuff like that. So the issue now is who leaked this idea, because what was being said is that it was a Downing Street briefing. That means it came out of number 10. Didn't come out of number 11, which is Rachel Thieves, the Chancellor's department, and she's going to be in trouble because everybody knows that budget, they've increased the deficit. Okay, they came in, apparently it was 50 billion, and now that was, it was 23 billion, and now the black hole's 50 billion. So basically, in the course of a year, how much do they actually add to that? But essentially, the leak didn't come from there. So where did the leak come from? And I think the leak actually came from within Keir Starmer's inner cabinet. Mr. McSweeney, he also is a practicer of the dark arts in terms of manipulation and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought that was particularly interesting, because what then happened was the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, the Granny Harmer, he had to then get up and make a defense of his own department by saying, I have been assured that no leaks came from number 10. So let's face it, if you needed to be assured, that means that there was the potential that you did not have assurance in the beginning. And if everybody else around you was saying that this is a nothing burger of a story, and the lady doth protest so much, he got up in the comments and said, I defend West Streeting in a very robust fashion, one could conclude that he was feeling somewhat barracked and cajoled into that position. Now, why would you do that? Why would you feel so cajoled that you would put out potentially, if we're surmising, a fake news story that you are facing a potential leadership challenge, and anyone who steps up to the plate, you will fight them robustly, and then Mr. Streeting's name gets leaked in that. Why would you need to do that? Let's just ponder on that for a second. Is it because maybe you're going to do so badly in the polls that the rest of the Labour Party, whilst they are considering it, they don't actually have the guts to be that visceral and, decapitating. It's not in their blood to be decapitating like that. It's not like the Conservatives, they'll perforate you at lunchtime if you're the leader. And the letters will go out and you'll be gone, via the 1922 committee. But the Labour Party, oh no, they don't do it like that. So why would you need to do it? And I think the reason that Keir Starmer and people in his office leaked that story is because they want to stave off a potential threat. It wasn't that there was a threat, it was the risk of a threat. And the risk of the threat is coming. Why? Because Keir Starmer was in a recent poll, the Labour Party came fourth. They weren't even on the podium, people. They didn't even go home with a cup. They came fourth in terms of popularity and how people feel about the government. They've only been in 15 months, not even 2 years, and already the leader is down to less than 11% in the polls. We have the local elections coming up in May 2025, yeah, and today they scrapped the police and crime commissioners because people's engagement in the democratic process is becoming less and less. They're just doing it less and less. So you have an electorate who are not engaging that much democratically. And for those who are going to engage, who wants a lame duck falling on the mat when you're out on the stump? Because do you think Keir Starmer's face on a leaflet is going to garner any votes? Is that the same people who you took the winter fuel off of? You'll be I can just see it now. Marjorie's bending down in her cold house to pick up the leaflet, and basically she's frozen to an ice popsicle because you stopped the winter fuel allowance. So it doesn't look to me like a situation where you are going to get many votes. And I think, as I've said, since this guy was elected, I don't think he's going to make Christmas. The Labour Party are either going to have to get rid of him or face electoral decimation in the local elections and the unitary elections, which are happening in 2025. And I think what he did is he's trying to stave off from the past a potential attack for that, because he thinks he can turn it around. I mean, that's one of the problems with politics. Quite a lot, often people suffer with hubris. Yeah, and they surround themselves with sycophants, so they don't get any critical analysis or thinking about anything. Because you're not going to be in the cabinet if you're a detractor, are you? No, you're going to be there because you're a yes person and a yes person. So that's the situation. I think the situation with him. I think Starmer's staff, potentially one of McSweeney's people, in my opinion, they leaked it. And then the whole thing backfired. And it took all the conversation away from all of the announcement that Wes Streeting was making. He then had to come and defend all of that. That was the story and not the good news about the Labour Party. So what's your thoughts? Do you think Keir Starmer was the source, or his office was the source of that leak so that he could deflect attention away from a potential stalking horse? Or do you think there is a plot afoot to oust Mr. Starmer and he will be decapitated before the local elections? Give me your thoughts, your 2 pence, your 3 cities, or your declining dollar price. You've been listening to Denise Headley on the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspace. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Don't forget, I'm taking a few weeks off, people. Yeah, I need to just chill out for a bit, y'all. I need to have a little break. Reassess, recalibrate, and redirect. Thank you for your listening ears. Make a donation at deniseheadley.com, and I'll see you soon. And cut!